Hello everyone. Welcome to my first episode of the Enthu English podcast in 2025. And it's episode 27 that's going to teach you a thing or two about the nature of idioms in English. Yes, we're going to be talking about idioms, so get ready. I must say I'm so thrilled to have you back here. It's been a while since my previous episode, which I published back in 2024, and so I encourage you to go back to it and have a listen. Now please stick around till the end for the full mini lesson, as it is a lesson. You're going to learn a lot about idioms, and a lot of them. Maybe I should start with a little background story. I've been carrying many insightful ideas about how to make learning idioms stick for quite a while before I finally sat down to give them final shape, you see now. And what I have come to see in my teaching practice is that for many aspiring or budding speakers of English, let's face it, learning idioms is synonymous with drudgery. What is drudgery? Well, I would say it's the kind of task, just picture this, and I think that you can even feel it probably, the task that leaves you pulling your hair out. Wait a sec, isn't it an idiom? Yes, it is, right in front of you in all its glory. And that's the first bonus idiom I've got for you up my sleeve. And there you go. What I aspire to accomplish in my teaching practice and all my teaching efforts is to turn the dreaded part of learning idioms into the rewarding one that will leave you wanting more and more of them in your spoken or written communication when and where appropriate. You're listening to the Enthu English podcast. I'm your ever so enthusiastic English language teacher and coach, Klaudia Łojas. Okay, back to the exhilarating world of idioms. Since it takes more than several minutes we have available here to travel the length and breadth of idiomatic language, let us start small, very, very small. Here again, another idiom up for grabs. Did you notice which one? Grab it. The long-awaited ideas that I've turned into today's episode will provide you with the irresistible perspective of becoming better at recognizing them. That's the goal. That is, in other words, realizing what you see or hear is the idiom and not just a regular phrase that you don't have to pay that much attention to. Of course, you need to be careful. You need to keep your eyes wide open. In the case of idioms, double attention. To make this process of identifying, recognizing idioms possible from now on, I have created a list of criteria that will reliably help you figure out or judge or identify, whatever you call it, if you're dealing with them. It's not always that straightforward, I know, it's not that obvious. Here we go. If your long-standing goal is to tame idioms, there are 3 things to know. And the first idea that came to my mind is about how independent and defiant idioms are. Just this curious characteristic of theirs. So I would describe it as they mostly defy the standard rules of grammar and follow their own solitary path of independence. So whatever you expect that there should be, let's say, VAN used in a specific place that you would recognize as correct, you might be disappointed. So let me give an example. By and large, the idiom means in general. Normally, we would expect the verb, article, but the phrase stands on its own feet. For example, by and large, the trip was a success. So in general, it was a success. The second feature that I would attach to idioms is they tend to refer to metaphors and on closer inspection have a deeper meaning. Take, for example, the idiom spill the beans, which means reveal a secret. And of course, it doesn't mean literally dropping beans, but rather giving away information. As in this example, he accidentally spilled the beans about the surprise party, which is no longer a surprise party. And the third characteristic I came up with is it circles back to the second one about the metaphorical meaning, because they have a unique source of origin that explains what they initially meant, what they originally meant, especially in reference to real and physical aspects of the situation, experience, or phenomenon. Let's take, for example, let's think about the idiom bite the bullet. The meaning, metaphorically speaking, is endure something painful or difficult. But originally, did you know it? It referred to soldiers who would bite the bullet to endure pain before anesthesia. Yeah, surprising. And listen to this example. I didn't want to take the exam, but I had to bite the bullet and do it. All right, these are the 3 must-know pieces of information about idioms that I really want you to take away with you. And let us be clear though, it's only a tiny fraction of must-have knowledge about idioms. There are many more characteristic features belonging to idioms that I'm happy to go into in my Enthu English classes with my student partners in learning. And once you know these must-have knowledge bites or characteristic features of idioms, you'll be able to build upon this knowledge layer by layer, brick by brick, and of course now famously, chunk by chunk. So now you know the criteria. What's next? I'd say in an ideal world, these tips would always work. But as we know, expecting there won't be any exceptions is like walking a tightrope. Do you get the picture? It's simply too good to be true. By saying that, I mean to get the most learning benefit, use these criteria as a good place to start and just simply see what happens along the way as you gain a deeper and deeper understanding of how English is spoken today. You're listening to the Enthu English podcast. And before we wrap up, let's clarify one more thing. While saying idioms, I'm not talking only about idiomatic sayings such as better late than never or better late than later, but most usefully, as I have demonstrated today, I'm talking about idiomatic expressions that you can throw in here and there in conversation, such as the ones I've blended into my ideas today. All right, guys, I'm happy I could share some basic knowledge about idioms with you today in order to get you to begin looking at them curiously and through the lens, the practical lens of communicating more of your ideas and thoughts with the help of idioms. It's been a great pleasure opening for you a new learning path towards idioms. Thank you for listening with focused curiosity. fruitful learning in 2025 to all of you Enthu English speakers. I'll be back soon with another refreshing knowledge chunk. Take care. Bye bye.